Hi everybody, we're here to do a video again. I don't know what we're talking about. I never know what we're talking about, but Michelle does. So whatever she talks about, we're gonna help her. Here she comes.
Yeah. Hi guys. Today we're gonna talk about today. Me and Michelle took a look at some numbers for November, just for the hell of it. And it's like we said I know we don't want to go into the numbers too much because it depresses early. So let's just make this short. We still don't know what the story is with the home phone versus the cell phone yet. And we have come up with a possible win-win scenario where we're going to have one home phone line and possibly one cell phone number, or the home phone line and no cell phone number, but still have the mobile internet, which means people will still be able to reach us through Google Voice. And the second choice would work out great for both me and Lemmy, because we don't like to be bothered all the time by people calling us. Right. This month, the T-Mobile bill came out to be $66. We don't know if that's because that was a change of cell phone plan or what the case was. So we're gonna pay the $66 at the beginning of the month, and then we're gonna pay everybody else. Go ahead, you got the fan on.
I know, but I'm hot.
I know you're hot. Look at these lamps; are gonna get hotter still. Yeah. So. You want to make sure the fan is pointing at her?
No, it's good. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, so that's that. Okay, so we're still not sure. Newest news is that the DNC has a backup plan for if Hillary Clinton must leave the race. They are considering either Michelle Obama or Bernie Sanders. Well,
sorry.
I think Bernie Sanders would have been the better backup if you ask me. But it's all politics, and the female group of the DNC wants to be Michelle Obama. I think that Mr. Sanders deserves to be the backup. Because if you think about it, he was the runner-up, He was the second one besides Hillary Clinton. And technically, he should have won the DNC, the Democratic National Convention endorsement.
Do you actually think that Obama's wife would get it?
Well, the female group of the DNC wants a female. And she's the only female that is on the slate right now. And it's still, like I said before, the September 8th was actually the deadline to have alternatives, because of the fact is all the states already printed their ballots. So, I don't know how they're going to do that, or what's the solution.
All right, let me ask you a question. You're going to talk about politics. I mean, now, I don't know nothing about politics. I don't know anything. But
actually, you know something about politics. Your own personal life is full of politics.
I have been listening to, what's his name? Trump. I did not like him at first. And Michelle knows that. I was just totally against him. But I've been listening to him. I don't know if he's blowing smoke up her ass.
I don't think so.
Well, they all do. Look at Obama.
Yeah,
he turned around and said he was going to get everybody out of the war. We're still over there. So don't tell me they don't blow smoke up our ass.
Well, here's one thing. He's not a career politician.
Okay, I understand all that.
That's a big difference.
They blow smoke up your butt. I don't care what you say.
Actually, he's more like he gives you a big giant tetanus shot up your butt.
But I've been listening to Trump. I am not a fan of him. But I would rather have him be a president than Hillary. Hillary, her husband was no good. He was another male chauvinist pig.
He really was. And he was a serial rapist, too.
He was a person that wanted everything in the world. And if it wasn't for Hillary, he wouldn't be a president. Hillary did all his work. Maybe that's why he failed. I don't know. But all I need to, what I'm trying to say, why do we vote then? Let me finish. Why do we vote if the ballots for Connecticut, South Carolina, all the states around us and the whole country already has their ballots? So why do we vote?
Well, that's where it gets complicated, because they would have to reprint all the ballots for all the states.
Yeah, every time they do that, they come up, oh, we're 10 short, gotta count them again. Oh, we're 9 short, gotta count them again.
We're talking about printing, not so much counting. That's the reason why we're hoping to God that they don't have to replace Hillary Clinton. At least, as long as the election already takes hold. Let's put it this way. If she gets elected and she croaks in office, that's different. Well, first, I don't think she's going to even be elected in the first place, because if you look at her depravity and the fact that her husband was a serial rapist and couldn't keep his mitts off of women.
I know a lot of people like that, but still, I mean, why do we vote? You didn't answer my question. Why do we vote if we're already counting people for voting?
They're not actually counting people yet, because the people haven't voted yet.
You just said a ballot.
We have the early ballots that are going out. Okay, the absentee ballots and certain early ballots which go to people in other areas of the world that are Americans that may be overseas, like the military. But those ballots will still remain sealed until November 8th, which at that point, they unseal them and count them. But for AFO and APO mailboxes overseas, they have to go through a time to mail them out ahead of time.
Now, our friend Ed, is he still for
He's still
Trump?
voting for Trump, yeah. He's made it very clear that he wants nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. I talked to another person today, or yesterday, not today, a friend of mine. Her name is Connie, at the soup kitchen. And she said, to be honest with you, she says, I really don't want to vote for either one. But I sure the heck don't want Hillary Clinton in the office. She's amoral, dishonest, and she's been nothing but a bunch of depravity. And I agree with her. Donald Trump, she says, in the beginning, he left a pretty bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. That's sure he did, though. Because in the beginning, he was just kind of a little bit too...
All right, Michelle, who did... In the beginning, before you started liking him, did you like him or did you dislike him?
Well, I liked him. Like I said, he didn't seem very refined at first.
How about you, Looney? Did you like him or dislike him?
Well, I certainly didn't like Clinton, so that was obvious. I thought, like Michelle said, is that he just didn't seem very polished. And I was concerned that he may say something that could kind of snow a pile of trouble, but it didn't happen that way. He actually worked on it and improved his techniques, and he's refined his personality and his manners. So now he's a lot more refined as a candidate. Yeah, he has made some positive improvements in his demeanor and behaviors. As far as him saying in the very beginning that he didn't like teleprompters, now he's using teleprompters. I listened to a lot of his speeches before the teleprompter era, and I realized a lot of times he was repeating the same thing over and over again, but he kept saying, like, 2 weeks ago, the Border Patrol, 64,500 or 16,450 agents have endorsed me. He was saying the same 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and it was 3 months ago. And that's because, I guess, he never updated that part of his speech to reflect the changes of dates. I don't think the teleprompter fixes that. No, unless they're fixing the ad copy that they feed into the teleprompter. Possible.
The president that I can remember, I remember a little bit of Nixon. I remember that he got crooked there. I remember that, and I also remember that did he get blackmailed too? He was getting blackmailed.
No, he resigned.
Yeah. And then I remember Ford. a little bit of Ford.
I remember Ford.
I remember a little bit of Ford, but I remember Carter. He was funny.
Yeah, but unfortunately, when it came to dealing with the actual issues with the gas crisis and the inflation in this country, he was a little bit short on ideas. His biggest mistake was the fact that he didn't know what to do with the hostages at the time in Iran. Apparently, these are different set of hostages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So he tried to negotiate to get them out, but unfortunately, he didn't do it. Finally, at the end of his term, when Ronald Reagan came in, Iran said, "Here, take them, don't shoot us, just take them."
Ronald Reagan brought him home, right?
Reagan did a good job.
Yeah, right. Ronald Reagan, he freed him, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he let him go.
Just by getting elected into office, that freed him.
Yep.
Because Iran was afraid he was going to shoot first and ask questions later.
Mm-hmm.
That really wasn't Reagan's style. He wasn't into that. Mm-hmm. Shoot first and ask questions later. All right, so now if Donald Trump does get elected and he does manage to get sworn in and everything goes good, what do you think he's going to do for the handicapped? Honestly, well, it depends on who he's going to be working with in Congress, because a lot of members of Congress are going to be up for re-election as well. And
it depends what you say about handicapped. I mean, if he's going to do something for people...
He said that he was going to protect the people's Social Security benefits and entitlement programs.
Let's hope so.
That's us.
I'm afraid. I'm not afraid to work, but I can't work because of my anxiety. And you can't work because you're legally blind.
No, in both cases, some would say, in the right possible situation, you could find work. Maybe self-employment. But we both know that's an expensive endeavor. No kidding. Michelle started these videos originally as a self-employment thing, and Michelle never really made any money on it. No, I didn't. In Michelle's shoes, they're starting to do some talking. Yes, they are. You gotta get me some new footwear. I gotta get some new sneakers.
That was funny, huh?
These are shot. Look at this.
Yeah, I see.
Michelle's other sneakers with the soles are a little bit better, but they're still really trash.
But I was never really into politics. If my mother was alive, I'm wondering if she would vote for Trump.
My father would too.
Wait a minute. What is Trump? Is he a Democrat or is he a Republican?
Republican. He was a Democrat at one time.
My mother might have went for Trump because she was a Republican. But I don't know if she would be interested in the way he thinks and the way he does things and the way he attends to downgrade women sometimes. Sometimes he can really, really be mean on women.
You know, the thing is that is absolutely not true.
Yes, Michelle, I heard him talk about women one day.
Yeah, okay, you heard about it one time, but if you listen now, yeah, what he said one time in the debates did kind of sound anti-woman, but it wasn't meant that way. When he said something coming out of her blank, I wasn't talking about that. He saw that there was some discharge out of her nose, out of the commentator, which was a woman. And he apologized to her, and Megyn Kelly agreed to accept this apology. And she was given an exclusive interview with him on Fox on her Megyn Kelly file. That was, where he said, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should not have mentioned that she was had a discharge coming out of her nostrils. And that's, but he says, but sometimes I tend to say things that come to my mind. Unfortunately, sometimes I did not realize, first of all, how much the mass mainstream media was going to try to use as a way to possibly destroy my campaign. They're so dishonest. And he's right. However, just like with the reporter that was handicapped, it turned out the mainstream media argument against Donald Trump was false. He did not insult the handicapped reporter. So, and a lot of the mainstream media is telling you is false. But not all of it. Because, well, first of all, who's running the mainstream media? Clinton is paying these people big bucks to try to spin Donald Trump in a negative way. The masses, that means everybody, the average John and Jane Doe public, are starting to say to the mainstream media, you're not doing that to me. I'm going to go to OlexJones.com. I'm going to go to PrisonPlanet.com. I'm going to go to MicheleMarieDalene's YouTube channel. I'm going to go to Drudge Report. I'm going to go to a few other sites to get the information. Because you're not telling me the whole story. The only mainstream media that is still kind of mainstream and still kind of bucking the trend is Fox News. But they had an upper management change, and now we're still trying to be balanced, but there's more manipulation of the news articles. Yeah. And the other thing is that somebody keeps trying to act, especially the mainstream media, is trying to act like Hillary's health is not a serious issue. It's something that is serious. But even without her health issues, you think about it, her whole career is so amoral. Her husband's serial raping ability is amoral. They are corrupt, dirty, old people. Literally. Filthy rich, dirty, old people, but they're still dirty, old people. Exactly. Now, Donald Trump is filthy rich, but here's the difference. He's not using foundation money. He's not going out there and doing huge pledge breaks to get money to run his campaign. He's financing this out of his own pocket. Okay? He's paying for the whole thing from his own pocket. The money he's raising, he's giving to the Republican National Committee, to the party, so that can help to finance other candidates runs in office. Not his. He's already said that. I've already got my campaign financed perfectly. I don't have to use this money from my campaign because my campaign is already funded. But I know that my fellow Republicans running for office may need that help. I will earn the money for that office so that they can use it to help fund their campaign. Well, one thing I am going to say, and we got to cover a lot of other things too besides that, but this is certainly a big one. Donald Trump has said to both the Latinos and Hispanic communities, and he did talk to the villages in Florida yesterday. And he talked about things that affect the senior citizens. If you may or may not know, the villages is a retirement community in Florida. And he said, I'm going to do everything I can to protect your benefits and protect your children's right to find work. And I'm going to bring jobs back to this country. And your entitlements are safe under my ministries. Remember, he's a senior citizen himself. So is Hillary Clinton. So he understands that financially, we need that money. And also, another thing that's scary as heck is I just received a notice that my Social Security check, my Social Security, my food stamps was reduced by $1. And this is the most scary thing of all. January, my medication monthly premium is going to go from $24.30 to $38 and change in January. I don't even know how much I could come up with that. She can't barely rub two nickels together now. I know. And if they don't give us a cost of living adjustment, we are going to end up really falling behind in everything. Now, let's see. I think I might have it here. Let's go look through this paperwork. This is my table. It's a little bit messy. Bless us, O Lord, for this messy table. Alright. Now, let me see if I can find that about the cost of living adjustment. I don't have the answer. I don't have that about the cost of living, but I have it about the insurance. Just gotta find it. It's just this more glasses. I turn for this here. United Healthcare. I think this is it right here. Now remember what Donald Trump said, that your benefits are going to go up? Well, here's my official answer from Medicare Part D. Okay. Evidence of coverage rider. Okay. Evidence of coverage rider for those who get extra help paying for prescription drugs. Also called low income subsidy rider or LIS rider. Please keep this notice as part of your AARP preferred RX PDP evidence of coverage. Our records show that you qualified for extra help paying for your prescription drug coverage. This means that you will get help paying for your monthly premium and prescription drug cost sharing. As a member of our plan, you'll receive this same coverage as someone who's not getting extra help. Your membership in our plan will not be affected by the extra help. This means that you must follow all the rules and procedures in the evidence of coverage. Okay, now, your monthly premium will be in January of 2016 onward will be $32.50. Your yearly deductible is $0. Your cost sharing amount for generic preferred multi-source drugs is no more than $3 each. Your cost sharing amount for all other drugs is no more than $8.25 each. The monthly plan premium does not include any of the Medicare Part B premiums that you still may need to pay. The plan premiums you pay has been calculated based on this plan's premium and extra help you may get. Okay, so what that means is Michelle's going to have to pay $8 more in that month, starting in January. Michelle pays that out of her checking account directly. Yeah. The Medicare Part A and Part B Michelle does not get charged for, because the state's paying for Medicare Part A and Part B. So Michelle, like you can see, needs new sneakers. She needs new clothes. And she needs other things. But she needs some prescriptions too. And I still need a roommate. And she still really needs a roommate. But, you know, Michelle and Dory have talked about that for so long that nobody is going to go through that one again. A roommate would have to be somebody who is willing to understand that there are things that Michelle can or cannot do in this apartment. Because she has a studio in here and she does videos in here. And even if Michelle finds a roommate, and the rent's going to go up to $800 a month. Yeah. So, that's a problem. I know that there's a family with a father, mother, and a small child, and 6, and there's an individual who's single and 5. And then you got the 2 girls living in 7. And I think our landlord is kind of hopping between 2 and 10. 8 still is work in progress. And so that's not going to be raised rent anytime soon. Unless you're willing to take on the responsibility of getting a rent and a break in the rent. But you still got to pay it yourself. Good luck. That last tenant in 8 made a mess. And Dory's seen it. Oh yeah, she's seen it. What did you think about what 8 looked like when you were in there?
Horrible. It looked very bad.
It looked pretty bad, huh? Sure, you cleaned up a lot of 8, but remember when you still had that boat on the wall that you had to take down?
Yep.
What did you think of 8 when you looked at it?
I didn't like it at the time, but now I wish I had number 10 still.
We don't know if 10's rented or not.
I said I wish I still had it.
Oh. Yeah, well, Jimmy's going to still tell you, "Da, you have to get rid of Amber first."
It happening.
Well, you know, the thing is this is related to what Donald Trump was also saying. To get back to that, he said this about the people in inner cities. You guys are getting fleeced. He says, you are living in poverty, which is inexcusable. You're living in substandard housing, which is even more inexcusable. As president, I'm going to do everything I can to fix that problem. And you're right. You guys have been living in substandard housing in Connecticut for at least 10 years, at least. And so there's definitely a reason why we need to fix up the housing. And so that's the truth. So let me ask you, Dory, a question about, I'm going to try to keep it kind of generic for reasons that's pretty obvious. What do you think a person with Social Security entitlements should be doing or would like to be able to do to get out of the financial treadmill that we're all on?
What?
Fixed income, not enough money for rent, can't pay rent unless you shack up with somebody who you may or may not be able to get along with. Can't find an apartment that's free of vermin. Does that sound familiar?
That's when you say, hell with it, just do it.
What? You know, like if the rent is $700 a month, the cheapest, and you know, in your case you only get $752. How are you supposed to do it?
You can't.
Okay, there you go. I make more than she does, and I still can't. Because it's the same thing with a lot of people in the lower income brackets. We're stuck. Okay? Unless, there is always the unless. Unless we go homeless. Then
they'll help you.
Then they'll help you, to an extent. But that means it's wintertime coming up. Where would I put all my stuff? You know, you'd be in trouble. You have to put it out in storage bin. You'd have to get a way to get a 2-cent storage bin, and you have to make sure you pay your rental fee for said storage bin. Yeah, and that is a problem. That is a big problem. So you don't really have a choice. And so is there any solution? No. What do you think, Dory?
No, there's no solution at all.
You know, I think it's the hardest thing about being in a poor housing is when everybody says you, and you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you fix the damn problem yourself? And then you try to explain you can't even rub 2 sticks together. How are you supposed to fix the problem yourself? Take, for example, if you have a problem with your, vermin, mice, rats, roaches, houseflies, black ants, whatever. And then you go ahead and you call Terminix Orkin, and you find out that it's going to cost you $400 to spray your apartment. How in the heaven's name can somebody who's on a fixed income, who can barely rub 2 sticks together, afford to pay for that?
You can't.
And then the landlord's go to us and say, well, you're just damn dirty. You don't clean nothing. Michelle cleans. I clean. Look, great, Michelle may not be the best. No, I'm not the best. I try. Again, there is the income situation. Dory knows this. So, how do you fix that problem?
You can't.
What would be the best solution to the whole problem, do you think? Should they give each individual a living wage that's closer to that you would get for working a 40-hour-a-week job?
Mm-hmm.
It's called a basic living wage. It's based on the concept that in Connecticut anyway, that everybody's getting $10 an hour and say 40 hours a week. That's $1,600. That's $1,600. But why don't they just... Because the problem is it's going to increase the risk of inflation. That's why. That's why they decided to turn it down in Finland for the same reason. Is that it wasn't going to help prevent inflation. Because if everybody's getting the same basic minimum wage, regardless if you work or not, or if you're disabled or not, everything is going to go up in your rent, your income, everything. Because rents will go up because landlords can make more money in rent. And people won't fight too much about it. You're right.
That's true.
And on top of that, everything else will go up too. Food, utility costs, everything. You know, the biggest expenses for me is, besides the phone, oh God, the electric bill. Yeah. Oh no, the credit card debts. I am so ready to tell First Premier to go stuff it this month. You know, I've been paying them for so long. Michelle, you need your First Premier because you use it for deficit spending. If you don't pay them, they're going to come after you with collections, and you won't have any money after you pay collections for groceries. So that's the sad truth. Well, let's see what Dory thinks, because Dory's seen the budget. I got the latest one right here. No, Michelle, that's not even accurate. That's for November, October, and that doesn't cover the real costs.
Michelle's budget's tight.
Describe exactly how tight are we talking about?
Tight.
Let's put it this way, folks. At the end of paying all the bills in the month of November, I came up with a total income of about $26. And that's going to go for... And I did subtract the hair and electric and the phone and credit card debts. By that time in November, they'll be back to normal. And it came out to be, at best, $26. And that's assuming I kept the same home phone plan I already have and just basically tell people, T-Mobile to go back and prepaid. You got a pretty good ratio right now with T-Mobile. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't think you want to fuck it up. But yeah, your credit card is a problem. The two credit cards are taking the chunks out of you. Michelle needs sneakers. Michelle needs dresses. Michelle needs new bras. Michelle needs her cancer eye drops. Michelle needs to make sure that her bills are paid in this month alone, October. Wait. And Michelle printed the budget for the month of October to give her case manager. But unfortunately, that is not a representative of a normal budget sheet. For that, you guys get those every month. Michelle's printed the budget review. And you know what it is. It's painful. It's like getting kicked in the cojones. Ouch. Yeah. Every month, it's the same frustration, you know. And my neighbors next door, I talked to her about her situation, and she said that they're having their own struggles. She's on Social Security disability. Her roommate is on regular paycheck. So again, we are living on the urban plantation, man. Yeah. Don't matter if you're black, Latino, Chinese, Indian, Japanese, Korean, whatever, legally blind, Italian, German, Greek. If you live in the urban cities and tenements, those Democrats will do anything to keep you down. Sometimes they'll throw us a bone, but usually it's a bone full of spikes and arsenic, or lead in their drinking water, or a variety of other potential problems, and make it sound like things are going to get better.
But it don't.
So Donald Trump better keep his promise, because there's going to be a lot of very disappointed people if he doesn't. And I'm also excited for what he says. I have 3 words. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Good. Are they going to be available to all Americans or only some certain Americans? Are you going to encourage employers to hire those handicapped individuals who want to work and find a job that they can do? Or are you going to tell them to only hire the poor schmucks that are not handicapped? I don't really know what to say. Okay? I'm sorry. I know the mainstream media is going to do this. The mainstream media is always going to find a way to crucify me over the coals. She's going to say, "Ew, she called us a poor schmucks. She's almost as bad as Clinton's basket of deplorables." Really? Oh, let's say something. I am an American citizen. I have struggled. I have gotten burnt. I have been kicked down. I have been thrown against walls. I have been robbed. I have been violated. I've been through a lot in the last 20, 30 years, and I still, and I mean that was since I was 18, and I'm still not getting the American dream. I wanted to do more than sit on my big, literally fat ass. Why can't I get anywhere? Because the Democrats have been sure through NAFTA and GATT, and now they're trying to push TPP to make and the transatlantic, or what's it called? Transatlantic intercontinental partnership, the TTIP, to destroy all American workers' right to be rightfully, gainfully employed. It's a constitutional right. The pursuit of happiness. Well, the pursuit of happiness isn't sitting on a fucking welfare check, getting fat and stoned and doing nothing. We want to do more than that. It's our Constitution says we have the right to the pursuit of happiness. Am I right or not?
You're right.
Let's put it this way. Do you feel happy overall?
Sometimes.
In your life story, do you feel happy overall?
No.
Have they deprived you from being happy?
Sometimes.
Sometimes they shouldn't be depriving you at all, should they?
No.
They should be giving you, as an American citizen, every single within reason right to find gainful employment. But they'll bring in illegal people, illegals, Syrian refugees, illegal Mexicans, and they will give them so much more than people who were born in this country. They will give you a check if you're an illegal. They'll give you a check for $3,000 to $4,000 monthly for one person. Where the average person on Social Security disability who's born in this country with disability gets only about $800 tops. Now, does that sound fair?
No.
No, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. And what's worse is we are told, all the boys born in this country are told to shut up and say nothing. Well, this is what I say to that idea. I double it. You know why? Because here's the reason. I work hard to do these videos, and this is my only source of activity every day. And I admit, I want to do more than this, okay? But as long as there's no jobs in Winstead, and there isn't, and I can't drive a car. Oh, you know what? You couldn't even afford to buy a car anyway. No, I know. Even if I could drive, I couldn't afford to buy a car in the first place. She's got a driver's license. I know. She can't get a car either. It's too expensive. Thanks to cash or clunkers that Barack Obama signed in his first term, all the potential cars, even if they were rust buckets, that we could have afforded are no longer there. And you wonder if it was really such a solution to the problem. No. And on top of that, he actually will not allow manufacturers to make parts to fix said cars. Exactly. So, what does that tell you, Dory?
The world sucks.
Barack Obama is a flaming fucking asshole. And you are still trying to push that TTP thing. Asshole. You know, why don't you go over to China and go live under the premier of China and go lick his nipples when you're done? Nobody wants you, Barack Obama. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants any more of the Democratic screwing us over every day. We're tired of that. We want to work. We want to bring home the bacon. We want to live the American dream, just the same as everybody else. Thanks to NAFTA, signed by Bill Clinton, we have lost everything that makes us a sovereign nation. And you're trying to push the refugees, and you're trying to push Trans-Pacific Partnership, and all these other treaties. You're out there to destroy the American people's rights and privileges. And then you don't care about the Constitution. You want to use the Constitution to wipe your ass after you take a good shit for yourself. You don't care. You don't care. That's why I think Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, both of you, might as well go look the first premier's testicles up there in China. And stay there. We'll deport you for free. Just get the fuck out of our face. Don't even come back here. We don't want to see your squeaky faces anymore. You're nothing but a bunch of godforsaken, losing, deadbeat, communist, socialist scum. I don't have anything against socialism overall, but those two, with her husband, have caused more problems in this country I want to get into. Okay? So yes, I think Bernie Sanders should be allowed to replace Hillary Clinton. Because I know Bernie Sanders really did have the votes but she used her clout to convince Debbie Wasserman Schultz to not allow him to become the president endorsed candidate. Favors, cross hands. She likes Wasserman Schultz, and so she basically did Wasserman Schultz did a favor. All right. So, anything you want to talk about real quick?
No.
How right or what am I saying is right?
Very much so. I agree with you.
Fill in some more about that.
Michelle, I don't know anything about what you talked about. You know that.
Well, okay. You see it every day, right? You see it every day. You tell me from your perspective what you see is going on in your income bracket.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like the fact that poor people have to struggle in the middle class. People get everything.
Middle class isn't getting anything either.
Who?
It's only the upper 1% that really get it. The upper crusts, the ones that make millions of dollars a year, are the ones that are getting it all. We're not getting nothing. Most of the people in middle class in the United States, what's considered middle class these days? What, $30,000 for a family of two? They're actually working 4 jobs, 2 jobs per person, and they're not getting ahead because Obamacare is taking all the money.
Probably.
Well, you tell me this much, and I think we're going to. Do you think, when you're living in all the places you lived in today, and I say today, I mean within, say, about the last 10, 15 years, do you think your housing choices have improved?
No.
Would you like to have better housing?
Yes.
Makes the 2 of us. By the way, I'm not saying I have anything necessarily against cockroaches or anything, because at least the roaches I do have kind of keep to their own place, okay? But what I'm trying to say is, I would like to have had the privilege of having a place to live which was nicer and better maintained than this. It's not so bad that I can say that my housing is unacceptable, but I'll be honest, for $700 a month rent with heat and hot water included, you're not going to get much better. That's the truth. Nope, you're not going to get much better. By the way, you like the skirt. It's okay. It's kind of good. I think you got it too high up, though. I think I got it too high up. Yes, I do. But the thing is what is it about Torrington for the most part that you like or dislike?
There's no job. That's what I like. I don't like. There's no jobs. Dislike. There's no jobs.
There's no jobs in one city either.
Nope.
How many people do you see down on the corner shooting and crack?
A lot.
A lot. How many people are drinking alcohol in the streets?
A lot.
How many people treat each other like crap?
A lot.
A lot. Well, so here we go. That's the problem with the Democrats' response to all the welfare is created just that. Instead of actually creating a society of utopia that they so much brag about. You ever listen to Hillary Clinton's logo, Stronger Together? Right. They're sure you're stronger together.
All right. What
If
time
you
is
guys
it?
can even manage to live together. Well, that's another story. Oh. Anyway, guys, we'll welcome your comments and suggestions. Editorial pieces, that's fine. We just ask that you try to realize that we're going to probably read them on the air, so you might want to try to make a good presentation. And one Sunday soon, and this is another reason I'm not sure what we're going to do with the phones yet, is I would like to do a live stream. And if I get rid of T-Mobile, there ain't going to be no live stream. No, because the internet's not fast enough here to do it.
My personal opinion, I think Michelle should keep one phone line in her house and one phone line in T-Mobile.
The only problem is she can't keep one phone line in T-Mobile and one phone line in the house.
Why not?
Because, first of all, it's $85 for the phone lines in T-Mobile with their MiFi, and then it's another $50 for the home phone line. Oh. Michelle is only going to be able to pick one or the other. She can't have both. So Michelle is saying is, I want to keep my home phone, and maybe I will reduce my T-Mobile to just have a MiFi and tell them to fuck the cell phone.
There you go. Okay, everybody. Michelle made up her mind.
All right, guys. See you
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.